On our Wavespreneur segment this week, we will be celebrating none other than Adedayo Okunfolami, a software engineer with over 11 years working experience, with the last 6 years as a team lead spanning over different projects across banking, education, healthcare, construction, media, and information technology. He is currently the Chief Executive Officer of Kreateng, a software and creative design company in Lagos. Adedayo was the head e-business and concept development at iData Business Solutions and a consultant to Sterling Pro Business Application Limited, Lagos, Nigeria. He has over 4 years software development, implementation, deployment, and management experience in provision of banking solutions to Nigerian banks at Information Technology Limited. As the head, software development, support, and implementation from 2014 to 2018, where he worked on projects with Heritage Bank, Zenith Bank, Sterling Bank, GT Bank Sierra Leone, Stanbic IBTC Bank, First Bank, Axis Bank, and Jais Bank. He was also a senior PHP developer at Redeemers University, Ede, Osun State, where he worked with different departments at various levels to build and automate several of the university processes based on the drive of the vice chancellors from June 2013 to December 2016. He worked as a network engineer and web administrator at ULO Consultants Limited, Asaba Delta State between 2011 and 2012 during the state airport and government house construction projects. He was the Business Day newspaper senior webmaster and IT support in 2010 and was instrumental in repositioning their online media presence.
My name is Adedayo Okunfolami. I'm a software engineer and the CEO of Kreateng. Kreateng is a software and creative development company, and what we do is we use software and creative design to automate processes and to assist businesses in their daily activities. I went to Tender Heart Northern Primary School. From there, I went to a couple of secondary school, and I finished from Igobi College, Yaba. Then from Igobi College, I went to Yaba Tech, and I did some couple of professional courses. I did some masters. I stumbled on IT. I remember back then in secondary school, I planned to study medicine. I moved from commercial class to a science class because I wanted to be an engineer or a doctor, but unfortunately I was stuck at commercial class for whatever reason, as fate will have it. So what I did was I enrolled for private tutors, where I took sciences, majorly physics and chemistry, which are the courses I wasn't taking in school. So I ended up sitting for a science JAM and WAEC, and I got admission to study electronics engineering. But before I got in between getting admission and waiting for admission, I stumbled on HTML, that's hypertext markup language, which a friend introduced me to, and I fell in love with it. It was something that captured my creativity, and I started digging more and creating templates with that language. And in the space of 2-3 years, I began to make money from developing websites and opening email account for people who need email accounts. And in school, I focused more on developing that skill than focusing on my studies. I was an average student in school because I had to combine what I love to do, which is IT, writing programs, to study electrical, study my normal courses in school. So I began to build myself, invest more time in that aspect of my life And when I graduated from the university then, what I did was, the first job I got, the only job I ever did, which was related to what I studied in school, was during NYSC. When I served in Ogun State, I was a technical supervisor, but while in that company, what I did was I focused more on solving more of IT problems. I solved problems like network challenges, web issues. I visited more often the IT center. I proposed how I can assist them in increasing their capacity in terms of online presence and that. Funnily, it was a university, so there was a lot to do. So I grew my capacity in terms of working in that space. So the first job I got immediately after NYC was to work as a web developer in Orlando, which I excellently delivered. And from there, one job to the other was all centered around IT. It's either network engineering, or to be a web developer, or to be an IT support officer. And that's how it has been for me as a person. As Nigerians, to generalize, I think when we talk about IT and maximizing the use of IT in this part of the world, we're trying our best. But in terms of, if you're going to give in terms of percentage, it's still it's pretty less than 30%. Less than 30% usage. Most of us in the industry, whether in the banking, the telecoms, the education, construction, the government parastatals, the security agencies, and the likes, IT is not well utilized. There's a lot we can do with IT, and I think there are challenges around that aspect. There are a lot of challenges limiting us maximizing the use of IT. We can talk about, I think that's another cause for this discussion, which is a lot we can discuss in that regard. But my take or my feedback to that question is, we are doing less than what we can, and I think we can do more if we have the right infrastructure, the right policies to drive that space. When I'm able to solve problems for someone or an organization, just between yesterday and today, I think we're able to solve a problem for a particular company. It's actually in the banking sector, and I could see the joy in the face of the MD. So I find fulfillment in solving problems using IT to schools. We're currently offering training. Kreateng is currently offering trainings to Nigerians, the Nigerian youth, and we can see people in the classes when we had a session with them, a group session with them, and we saw the excitement and the fact that they were learning new skills and they were able to harness the opportunities available to them in IT. I think that gives me joy. My typical day on a normal day for me is when I wake up 6 o'clock. But other days I wake up earlier than 6 o'clock. Most times I sleep late and I wake up thinking as early as 3, 4 o'clock about one idea or the other, and there's a need for me to develop the idea. So I get up to see what I can quickly write down or type down on my notes or my keep source solution to jumpstart my day. So my typical day is on a Monday or Tuesday or Wednesdays, I wake up as early as 4 p.m. if I didn't wake up early, 4 a.m. rather, and I prepare for the day, and I plan my day, and we resume our work. We have our team meeting. Then we probably, if you're having a meeting with vendors or other businesses, we do that. Then the next thing, I meet my developers. We research on what next to do, or pending projects we need to close, and that's it. That's basically what we do for me as a person, and that's what I basically do. The 5G controversy, there's different version of information circulating about that invention. I think 5G is just like another upgrade to 4G. You know, before now we have Edge, then we have Edge Plus, then we have 2G, then we have 3G, 3.5, we have 4G. Currently I'm using 4G on my smartphone, and I can see the speed. It's different from somebody using 2G or 3G. And 5G is another upgrade to 4G basically. And the controversy and the conspiracy theory around that in relation to coronavirus is surprising to me as an IT person. I find it difficult to understand the drive, the relationship between 5G and coronavirus. It's two different things. Talking about 5G and that conspiracy will lead to a major debate. How coronavirus was invented. There's another conspiracy around that area. So for me, what I would just say is 5G is an upgrade to 4G. We're trying to ensure that we have high-speed internet connectivity. The world is a global village. We're transforming from one phase to the other, and we need things done now. Just like the current situation we find ourselves, based on the reaction to the post-pandemic situation that have changed the life of most companies or businesses, and even the workforce, that we are being forced to work remotely, to do more online and as more online. So 5G will actually assist most businesses to be able to navigate their way around, providing better solutions and to business, education, health, and the likes. That's all I have to say about 5G. Okay, so what we've done to add our voice to the fight against COVID-19 is to provide an app, a web applications that allow you to check your risk level, assess your risk level of COVID-19, of contracting the coronavirus. So the application uses a scientific evidence to measure, based on the questions that you are asked to answer, your risk of exposure. It's focused on 4 areas: your risk of exposure, the symptoms, the condition, your health condition, and your travel history. So based on those questions that are asked or you answered, we're able to streamline to 3 major areas, whether you classify as an high risk person, or medium risk, or low risk. So the application basically just check your risk of exposure, and so that you can know how to protect yourself, or what to do in a situation where you think you have you're exposed to the pandemic. The day I could never forget, I actually died once, if I could say that. I remember growing up as a kid. It was an evening. I think I just finished having dinner, and I went to my mother's room, my mom's room, and I've always known that there was a naked wire on the wall, but I don't know what prompted me. I tried to lean on that wall that very day, and I was electrocuted. Funnily, I studied electrical engineering, you can see. So I was electrocuted, and the last thing I could remember was I fell. And the next thing I saw was, I found myself in the cloud. Some people said I fainted or I slumped, but I think I was between life and death. And I can't remember how long it lasted, but I was revived eventually. So that is a moment that I could never forget. Each time I remember that scene, I just thank God that for life. It made me appreciate the fact that when I focused, when I started working towards studying electrical engineering, I never remembered that particular scene until later on in life, after graduating from the college. I looked back and I said, oh, Dayo, you actually was once electrocuted by the same thing you studied, and see how life works. The same thing that electrocuted me, I ended up studying it, and that's something I can never forget in my life. So I had a speaker spoke about emotional intelligence and how it helps you as an employee. He said something like this. He said, if you are the trainee level, graduate trainee or entry level, you need skills to survive or to get promotion. Your performance, your skills level, your certificates, how eloquent you are, or how productive you are will help you get to climb the ladder. But you get to a place along the ladder that you require emotional intelligence to survive. It's not about how much you know, it's not about what you can do. It's about emotional intelligence, how you can navigate within the management. Once you get into the management level, emotional intelligence is very key to survival in that company. Otherwise, you'll be kicked out, or your growth will be short-circuited. I've got two kids, a boy and a girl, and they're adorable, and I think playing with them and watching cartoons with them help me unwind. So I watch a lot of cartoons. I can tell you a couple of cartoons titles. We have Sophia, the princess. We have Elena. She's also a princess. We have there's this one, Paw Patrol, Peppa Pig. Those are the things that I sit around my kids and we spend time watching cartoon. When I'm not doing that, I'm actually on my system coding. So the only time I get to do that is to relax, is to sit around my kids or my wife to join them in watching either the cartoon or home video.